Today, we want to welcome you both, Miss Simeon and Mr. Rojonan. It is a pleasure to have both of you with us here today. We have been able to review your applications and are excited to hear more about how your experiences and values correspond with that of a sustainable tourism consultant.
Okay, so this position requires technical knowledge and has a very strong ethical underpinning. For instance, it is something that requires cultural sensitivity. So we will direct our questions to those parameters. Please answer as naturally as you would in an interview.
Let us begin with a simple but important question. What is your own definition of professionalism in the tourism industry, especially in working with varied clients, communities, and stakeholders?
Absolutely. For me, being professional is defined by consistency, respectfulness, and how I proceed with communication, the treatment of guests, and the representation of the destination. Being prepared, honest, and refusing to take shortcuts even when no one is watching.
That's a very good angle, especially that of consistency. The tourism industry is founded on the idea that every interaction tells a story. What do you think, Mark?
I agree with Katrina. I would like to add professionalism encompasses cultural awareness and responsibility, given that we work with communities and travelers from around the world. We should always be mindful of local customs and ensure that destinations are portrayed in a respectful way.
Thanks for those insights. Now, on to something a little more complex. Your company is a selling beach area currently undergoing environmental rehabilitation, but your boss insists on including it in the tour packages because it's the most popular destination. How would you deal with that?
That is a tough one. I will try to explain a long-term damage that could result from this promotion. Then I will try to suggest some alternative that follows the idea of a sustainable tourism company. A trust for the quick buck should not cause a long-term damage.
That's a very responsible approach. Miss Simeon, would you do something similar?
Definitely, I would try to back it up with some data, some reports, or advisories from local government or environmental agencies. If we say we promote sustainable tourism, we need to put our money where our mouth is.
Exactly. It is all about integrity, especially when you are asking guests to trust you with making responsible experiences.
Now, if we talk trust, let's talk ethical dilemmas. Did you ever go through or witness some kind of ethical challenge at work or during an internship, maybe involving some kind of dishonesty or conflict of interest? How did you deal with it?
Actually, yes. During this OJT session, I was asked to take some guest complaints out of our report so that the result would look better. It made me uncomfortable, so I pointed it out and said that actual feedback would lead to improvement. Fortunately, my boss approved and we put it in constructively.
That takes a lot of guts, especially as an intern. Mark, any experience similar to that one?
I was asked to recommend a tool supplier to whom I already had an affiliate. My first step was to disclose the relationship in order to prevent any conflicts of interest in this regard. The aim was to ensure that the client understood and I am being impartial and fair.
This is a very solid case about transparency. So many problems in tourism stem from conflicts that would otherwise have been prevented by plain honesty?
Hmm. Now, let's look at sustainability. Which strategies, according to you, are the most important ones to see is that the economic benefits of tourism do flow down to the local communities, especially in rural or indigenous areas?
I believe everything depends on local participation, from employee local guides to using homestays to sourcing from the community and the decision making. It is not just a matter of people coming in to see a place. It is really about helping that place to survive.
Right? And let me add that tourism planners have to consult such communities before any project formulation. The views of the community will feed into authentic and respectful experiences. Plus, when the locals are involved, they will be more likely to protect their own environment and culture.
Excuse me. Wonderful answers. On that note, how do you ensure cultural sensitivity when promoting destinations that have sacred or traditional value?
The first step is the listening phase. If a community asserts that a certain ritual or site is to be respected as an off-limits area, we consult them on the story and share their traditions with tourists on the matter to get their consent so we do not misinterpret anything.
Yes, and throughout the tour, it's a paramount that guests are tough, plus is acceptable in dress code, photography, and behavior. So educating is a part of responsible tourism.
Hmm. Well said. Culture should be preserved, not packaged.
So here's the last prompt. Imagine that the person you work with on a sustainable tourism project discovers that a team member has been paying local officials for faster approvals. What do you do?
First, I will gather the fact. If it's clear to me that there's a bribery going on, I will escalate it through the proper internal channels. As tourism professional, we are obligated to speak against corruption, even when it's uncomfortable.
I would do the same if I wasn't sure how to report it safely. I would go to my trusted supervisor or ethics officer because really we have to set an example in integrity for the communities in which we work.
And that brings our interview to a close. I appreciate you both for your very honest and thoughtful answers.
You can just see the passion and responsibility in him, which is frankly so important for this role. We are going to have an interview review and get back to you soon.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for your time. Thank you so much.
much.